What's going on, Ringside family? You know who this is. It's Professor LL. And as you can see tonight, I think it's looking like it's gonna be me, but that's fine. That's fine. It's always good just to run with one person sometimes. And I'm gonna break down NXT tonight. It's pretty interesting, I gotta say. We definitely always going back to school whenever we watch NXT. But they tried something different tonight. We got started early on in the night. We opened the show, we're getting Last Legend versus Nikita Lyons. You got two, I guess, alpha females, if you want to call it that, going at it, going one on one with each other. And it was a good match, man. I mean, they've been talking a lot on social media. They had their Twitter beefs going back and forth, and it was a good opening match, I gotta say. What's going on, Eddie? Appreciate you on, man. Appreciate you on. But like I'm saying, man, with this opening match though, love to get your takes on it too, Eddie. Last tried. I gotta say at the end, like I said, it was hard hitting. Nikita showed out. Last showed a lot of strength. I think the more these two actually get in the ring, not necessarily against each other, but just against other female talent in that division, that it's gonna continue to grow. Nikita got the win at the end, but unfortunately, as she was celebrating out of nowhere, here comes Natalia. And then we see Natty and Lash basically jumping from behind. It segues into something later on tonight. And, it doesn't necessarily catch me off guard because, when Natalia came in, she said that, that she's pretty much going to be running the women's division. So, I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen from here on out with that. But, yeah, I agree, Eddie. Nikita did pick up wrestling really, really well. I don't know, but who? Okay, I got a question for you. Who do you think has the better upside, Nikita or Lash? Because to me, I think I just want to see Lash be used more. Because I mean, they're pushing Nikita, but I think Lash can be just as good. But we go from this match. Like I said, that happens with Natty and Lash jumping on Nikita. Cora comes out for the save. So as you can see, you got two tag teams, Nikita and Lash, Cora and Nikita. There's bound to be a tag team match happening sooner rather than later. We got to see as the night goes on if that actually happens. But we go from this match to a backstage segment with the Diamond Mine. Roddy, he said, "Look, man, I'm tired of losing. I know you guys are tired of losing. This ain't us. We are too good to lose." So in that statement, he tells the Creed brothers, "Hey, next week I got you a match against a former tag team championship team, but we get the Viking Raiders." I was like, okay, see, I kind of get it, but then I don't. Because like of all the teams you pick in, you went after the Viking Raiders. Really? Oh, she going to the UK? Oh, good tidbit there, Eddie. Yeah, they have to trust her if she's going to NXT UK because that brand is that's a beast, man. Their tenacity and technicality that they got out there, something different. But appreciate that, appreciate that. Matt, what's going on, good sir? Good to have you on. Good to have you on. Um, but again, like I said, man, Roddy tells the Creed brothers next week, you're gonna face the Viking Raiders, who have a match later on tonight. Me personally, I'm just like that. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't necessarily upset because I kind of saw, man, I get why you mad, but you gotta look at where the storyline and where this is going. I mean, they're really trying to make Lash be a heel, so I got the L because they pushing Nikita to be a baby face in a way for the women's division, and their whole beef was over body image, or what's real, what's not real. So I think they wanted to push Nikita just to prove that authenticity of it. As weird as that may sound, but I think that's what was going on there. And Eddie, I do agree. NXT UK definitely does hit harder. For those that do not watch NXT UK, you guys should. I mean, there's been some phenomenal matches all across the board. You got Ilya Dragunov. You got Mako Satomura. You got just the names that they got over there. I mean, it's phenomenal. You also definitely go check it out. But again, it's confusing again with this one because oh, I don't know, Eddie. Yeah, I mean because she does really have good size. I will say that. Um, I don't know. I mean, like, but I just think she just needs to be moved away from Nikita and just into just different women. Let her actually wrestle. Because I don't know. Here's my hot take with this. I feel like they're trying to push Lash because they couldn't push Bree from when they had Hit Row. That's what I'm looking at. I think they're trying to, basically placate that and say, all right, well, hey, we y'all lost Bree, but here's Lash. Y'all, become fans of her. And if that's the case, that's foul because I thought Hit Row was it. They missed their big opportunity with that group right there, and I felt they all had a shot. Yeah, Matt, check it out, man. It comes on Thursdays. Thursdays at 12. But if you got Peacock, man, that's the way to do it. Watch it on Peacock. That's how you can catch up. But yeah, this whole Viking Raiders thing, it really rubbed me the wrong way because I was hoping we get like Street Profits or just something, just another more established tag team because I know with Viking Raiders they got injured, so I don't know if it's just because they don't have a placement for them right now, so that they sent them back down to NXT. Oh, okay, thanks, Eddie. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Natty definitely does have the experience, but I do think she is good for her to stand on her own. I feel like she really has that it factor that's missing. I mean, because if you think about it, if you look at the big women that they do have, you saw what happened with Raquel. You see what's going on with Rhea. And now you got Lash and Nikita, and it's like, okay, they got to be treated differently. Yeah, Matt, I'm telling you, go to Peacock, bro. That match was dope. It was dope. But again, like I said, we get this challenge. I guess we're gonna find out what happens next week with this because I'm not sold on that match yet. Because I feel like the Creed brothers, they're good. They just need to get a win under the belt. I don't know why they are not the tag champs. Instead, they give it to Pretty Deadly. Made no sense to me. So we go from there to second match of the night. We get the Tony D'Angelo versus Von Wagner because it was originally supposed to be what's his name? I forgot who it was, but shoot. But we got the replacement of Von because Robert Stone is over here saying, hey, your original opponent's out, but Von can take your place. And yeah, I mean, the match itself was dope. I'll give Tony D because I'm becoming a fan of him week in and week out. He's definitely playing his role well. Unfortunately, he messed with the wrong group in Legado and Santos. Santos got him back. Got him with that I don't know what you want to call it. I guess I'll call it like a tire rod or whatever. But he smacks Tony's knee. It pretty much cost him the match because Vaughn was able to capitalize and get the win. But then after the match, you get the standoff of Tony's Goon Squad versus Legado. I really think we're about to get a 6-man tag match happening soon. I don't know if it's going to be next week or maybe in a couple weeks, but it's definitely something to pay attention to because I think it's going to be a battle of basically whose NXT it is. Because Santos says this is his show. Tony says it's his. So eventually, I think we're going to get that one-on-one match between them, which is going to be phenomenal. And that's must see. So, we go from that, and then we go backstage. Roxanne Perez, a.k.a. Roxy, steps up to the challenge. She's like, hey, last week was not a fluke. I can do it again. Mandy's like, all right, well, prove it to me. Let's have this match later on tonight. That's what we get there. And I'm a fan of Roxy. I think she's gonna be a good shot in the arm for the women's division for NXT because they do need just just different styles. She can definitely talk. Her skill set is dope. I definitely consider her more of a technician more than anything, and her submissions are dope, bro. Like if she gets you in them, it's hard to get out. Yeah. I mean, if he is getting called up, then he's definitely gonna lose this match. When it does happen with Tony D. And as far as Natty, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. That's a really good. I have to look that up, Daddy. Just to let you know. I personally, I'm not sure. She could, if she does, that'd be dope because she definitely can bring a lot to the table as far as just her knowledge. But yeah, this is a pretty good segment because to me, it's just they're trying to highlight the women more in this show, which I love. And we go from there to we get Brooks and Jensen and Fallon saying they're hired for Legato. Now, if y'all look at this segment, good old Jensen, he saw a pretty blonde walk by, and his whole focus was gone. He was like, nah, I was like, I'd rather follow that. And Briggs was just like, nope, you gotta focus, bro. I thought that was a funny moment. Yeah, she is. She is actually 20 now. Yeah, she's 20, but yeah, man, Eddie facts. She's way ahead of Mandy. I'm just surprised Mandy's still champ because I don't know what they're waiting on to. She should have dropped this title a while ago. So, again, Fallon and Brooks are telling Jensen, hey, you got to focus for this match against Legato. We go from that to what I call a pretty big debut because, again, we're going to highlight NXT UK, but Nathan Frazier debuts because he was supposed to have a match against Grayson Waller. Okay, Matt. Yeah, it's possible. Possible. We're gonna see what happens there. So if you look at this segment right here that happens, Nathan comes out after Grayson basically just tries to steal his moment and saying that you ain't nobody. So Grayson's running his mouth talking about how this is the Grayson Waller show and how he's the biggest thing walking. He ends up getting into it with Andre Chase and Bodie from Chase University. As he's distracted by that, Frazier hits him with a amazing missile drop kick, and then out of nowhere hits that suicide dive. I'm telling you, Andre Chase is growing on me because he's like, now this is a teachable moment. Facts, it was. And I think we gonna get a one-on-one match between Frazier and Waller, or it could be a new storyline of Grayson versus Andre and possibly Bodie. So I'm here for it because Andre Chase is gold right now at NXT. Yeah, Eddie, they could if they haven't already. Because if you look on a side note though, if you pay attention to Booker T's wrestling school, I mean Usos came well not necessarily Usos, but you got Ember Moon, who's now known as Athena, came from there. Roxy's from there. There's a lot of wrestlers out there that Booker T has trained that the E's actually picked up on. So yeah, that'd be smart. That'd be good because Booker does good work, man. He really knows what he's doing out there. But again, like I'm saying, we get Grayson Waller trying to stand tall. I don't know. I mean, are you guys a fan of Grayson Waller? Because I'm kind of over this whole gimmick of with the shimmying, the crossover of the basketball moves, the so-called boxer. I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it. But we get that moment, introducing of a new storyline. From there, we get a vignette. Now, this is gonna be dope, y'all. NXT finally decides after so long to do an NXT women's breakout tournament, and we get introduced to Ariana Grace. I'm for it. Like, this is gonna be cool. We're gonna meet some new future stars of the NXT's women's division, and I'm here for it. Sorry, y'all got comments coming in too. So like I'm doing it solo tonight. Bear with me. Eddie, really? Huh. I mean, if you look at it, a lot of wrestlers eventually, if they truly have that passion for the business, that's how they give back, man. They either open up a wrestling school or they just train. They if you look at NXT, a lot of the coaches were former wrestlers from the main roster. It's not necessarily I can see it. I mean, Booker T had, like I said, he's a knowledgeable cat that can bring a lot to the business, and he is bringing a lot to the business. Not only his wrestling school is on fire, but it's him as an individual and what he is doing, just trying to grow wrestling as a whole. It's huge. So Booker, if you're listening, appreciate you. Thank you for what you do. Um, I mean, I'm confused. They went from Grizzly Young veterans to just their last names because Vince is all about trying to monetize as much as he can. So he'd rather take away those that are using the actual names or names from the independent circuit. I question and say that they might be actually being called up. I will say that to you, Matt, because there's really not too much for them to do in NXT because they've been there for at least, I want to say, at least maybe 2 years right now, and they have yet to win any type of title. They've been put in the main, the title championship conversation, but then right when they're there, they don't win. They're normally the fall guys that get the pin. So we shall see, man. I'm curious, but good point. Good point. So we get that vignette. Then we shoot to Grayson Waller, who literally shoots a shot with Tiffany Stratton. And basically, out of this, they're saying, "Hey, got a great idea. I'll take on Nathan Frazier." Tiffany's like, "Hey, I can join you. Get a tag team going. They get a mixed, and I think we're gonna get a mixed tag match between Waller and Tiffany versus Nathan Frazier and Saray. It's gonna be interesting. I'm still intrigued to see where they want to go with this. Yeah, they were in NXT UK, but you got to look that's the one team I'm trying to figure out why they're not being pushed in NXT. They're one of the first ones to make that transition to NXT, but they weren't really pushed. Like, why is it that Pretty Deadly get the titles, but they didn't? I Again, that just rubs me the wrong way. It's nothing against Pretty Deadly. I was just like, that was just too soon. They just got that. I felt like they should not be tag champs. That's just my personal opinion. So again, like I said, Waller backstage with Tiffany. He's falling in love with her because you can just see this moment, man. Like he's just all for it. Like, oh, you're like the woman I've been looking for. They over here walking off. He's flirting. She's listening. Either A, we gonna get a romance out of this, or like I said, it's gonna be a mixed tag match. Gotta see what happens. True, Eddie. They are noticing NXT UK. They have been for a while. Like I said, I just I just thought about it. It is true that NXT they send a lot of people over to NXT UK right now. We've seen it with Roderick Strong. He had a hell of a match against Ilya. I mean, we just seen they've been working with each other, and I think that's smart because if they're not necessarily working here in NXT, they can go to UK, get that rub, get that experience, and then they come back to NXT. It really helps their career. So I'm for it. They should just keep this going because I don't. They shouldn't combine it. They should still keep it separate. But just the traveling back and forth there, every so often would be good. Yeah, I don't. That's really. I like that fact. I wonder if they are going to get that title shot because I know that's normally what happens when in the men's tournament. And when they win, they get a title shot of their choice, whether it's the main title or in this case, it'd be the NXT North American title. For the women, yeah, they should definitely get that title shot. We gonna see what happens because I know we saw two tonight. I don't know. I think it's a total of 8 women that's going to be a part of it. So I'm going to be definitely tuning in and just seeing who else we get to learn about. So again, like I said, Waller shot his shot, and from there we go to a name change. One of these name changes that I'm already upset about. Formerly known as Casey Catanzaro, she's now Katana Chance. I don't understand. So you get Katana Chance and Kaden Carter versus Yulisa Leon and Valentina Feroz. It was a good match. It was a good match. In the end, Kaden and Katana get the win. I'm thinking they should be next in line for the women's tag titles. We shall see. I don't know how y'all feel about them, but I mean they've been a team forever. I think it's due because I don't. Again, it's like I think Toxic Attraction their time is done carrying the belts. In my personal opinion, put it on some fresh people. Um, let's freshen it up, liven up the women's division. We need some fresh faces. Eddie, bro, facts. Dragunov, so intense, man. Did you catch his match? Did you catch both of his matches against Dan Walter, or even the lights out match that he did with the Iris Age Jordan Devlin? Bro, the physicality is bananas. He's definitely one of my favorites on that brand. So this match happens, and then we cut backstage. We see that Jensen gets jumped. We don't know who jumps him. I'm thinking it could be pretty deadly because that's just my personal opinion. I think that it could be them. I don't think it's the Creed brothers. I definitely don't think maybe it's Legado, but I'm putting my money on the new tag champs because that's been an MO lately, is just jumping folks and just disappearing. So obviously that's going to cost them later on because they did have a 6-man tag match coming up. But this is my thorn of the night, y'all. I hope it's y'all's too. But we get a video vignette of Kaylee Ray with her bat. Basically, she's saying, "Hey, it's who am I? Am I a fighter? Am I a warrior?" She's like, "It's time for me to go back to who I am and basically rep my culture." So now she's called Alba Fire. You guys like that? I thought Butch was bad, but I think this takes the cake. Yeah, his mat. Yep, they did. Definitely left marks. I do not ever want to be chopped by now known as Gunther, but Walter. No, his chops are vicious. Yeah, but y'all, somebody needs to explain this to me. Why the name change? Like she was perfectly fine as Kaylee Ray. I don't get it. I don't get it. This was just awful. But then, so we get the introduction to Alba Fire, and now we go to what was supposed to be a six person match to Legado, meaning Electra, Joaquin, and Raul versus Briggs and Fallon Henley by themselves, because as y'all saw previously, Jensen did get hurt. In the end, it became a numbers game. It was too much. Legado got the win. I didn't really care for that match too much, but Legado's Legado. I mean, they're gonna continue to build. Looks like the bigger issue is gonna be with Tony D and just that whole squad that he's bringing. Yeah. Yep. Good. Devlin. I mean, I don't want to spoil NXT UK if you haven't been watching the map, but him and Ilya are about to go round 2, bro. It's gonna be nuts because the match they got, this is gonna be some bonkers. And some people feel that Devlin might be the one to take the title off of Ilya, but I don't. I think it's too soon. But that's what makes NXT U great. Eddie, no, I hope not. I really hope not. He's obviously from Russia. Like it makes no sense to say he's from Germany. Makes none. Because then if that's the case, they're gonna completely change his name to something. I don't know what yet, but uh, I don't know. He should just stick to his character. There's sometimes I feel like you should keep the character the way they are. Changing them so much for what though? Just for money? That ain't about it. Because I think once you change the character, man, you just change who they are as a person, and sometimes it's hard for them to recover. So again, decent match. I'll say decent match. Like I said, I mean, Briggs held his own. He came close to getting that victory for them, but like I said, to repeat myself, numbers game. Legado always knows how to work that numbers game in their favor. They very rarely lose when that's the case. So again, like I said, they got that W. And like I was saying earlier in the night, y'all, Lash and Natty, they're coming together. They're saying next week, spring breaking, they get the tag match between them against Cora and Nikita. I think it'll be good. I don't know who's gonna win at this point. I don't because they can give it to either side and it works. I think to me, I think this might be a Lash and Natty one since Lash has been losing a lot. I think they're gonna get that win, and they continue to build from there. But you know that I was real quick, and then one of my faves, Solo Sokoa, Big Oos versus Trick Williams. Ooh, um, before I talk about this match, Eddie, I would say. So here's the thing: if he does lose this title to Devlin in the next couple weeks, then I say he comes around SummerSlam. Because he can't just come just whenever. He's got to come during a big moment, and I think SummerSlam would be dope. But that's so I'm thinking like maybe between like the months of June, July, August. That point is when I think that'd be a good fit, and I hope he goes to Raw, because he does not to be in the same show as Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser. No, keep them separate, especially because of their history. I'd rather see them individually just blossom on their own rather than be on the same brand. But I don't know if you had to pick a brand though, Eddie. Which one you picking? Um, why do you say that? Because I mean, I think Core is still young enough to kind of build who she is. And I mean, she's obviously getting the rub from Natty, so that should tell you right there that they definitely see something in her. I mean, because Roxy's just established, man. Because she was definitely in the independent circuit for a few years, and y'all know her story, man. Like, since she's been wrestling since she was 13, like that's nuts. So that experience that she already has, plus the youth of it too, it's dope to see. But getting back to this match, man, Solo Sokoa, yet again, this man is just it's this untapped greatness. There's his ceiling is so high. Definitely the momentum was building because I mean you have his face and Trig, but on commentary we had new champ Cameron Grimes. Obviously Carmelo was out there. Solo gets the win in the end. We get a face off between all three of them. Solo ends up super kicking Cameron Grimes when it was supposed to be intended for Carmelo. He just standing tall. I'm here for this three-way. I would love to see a title change. I would love to see a title change. Let me get back to this. Yes, really? I say Raw. There because SmackDown already has Gunther. Like I don't really need both of them in that brand. It's better to keep them separate. As much as they are the same age, I mean, experience is everything right now. Roxy just has it, and it's only time's going to tell exactly what she's going to do. Because I'm thinking maybe Roxy just might be there for like a few months, maybe have a feud or two, then she gets called up. I don't see her being long term in NXT because she's definitely destined for the main roster. I'm thinking maybe Raw or because wherever Bailey isn't at, I think that's where Roxy's gonna go. Because I think they're gonna try to counter Bailey with Roxy. That's just my thing. Are y'all? But here's my question though. Are y'all excited to see this triple threat match next week in Spring Breaker for this North American title? You got Solo versus Carmelo versus Grimes. It's gonna be fire. I mean, I would love to see Solo get it, but I think it's going to either Carmelo's going to get the belt back or Cameron's going to retain. But me, I'm picking my dark horse in Solo because man, that'll be dope. That'll be a really big moment for him. And we go from there to I'll say probably one of the funniest moments of the night for me. If you're a Cool Runnings fan, you get Idris and Malik. Idris trying to pump up Malik, talking about telling him, I'm strong. I'm fast. I got speed. It really took me back to that moment, and it was hilarious. But I loved it because it definitely got Malik motivated to go into their match. I don't know if this team's going to be a comedy act per se or be taken seriously as a tag team, but at least we're seeing them, and I love it because individually they were always lacking. They decided to put them together, and it's working. It's working. They're definitely bringing the laughs, but when they're in the ring, you see the high flying, you see the chemistry in this building, and I think that's dope. That's dope for them. And like I was saying earlier with Santos and Tony, Santos will continue in this feud with Tony D, bro. He's saying, "Yo, I just gave you a taste of your own medicine. You should have saw this coming. This is my show." And he's like, "Hey, if you really want to do something about it, you know where to find me." And I love it. I don't know if this. I think when they do face each other, I don't know if it's going to be a stipulation match. Because Tony, he loves using weapons. I don't know. To me, I was like, I wouldn't mind seeing like maybe a steel cage match between them. That'll be kind of dope, where it kind of just evens the playing field. But if they do face each other, like I said, if Santos does get called up, then Tony's getting the win. But if not, I think Santos gets that victory. So we go, if we go from that little quick little moment to Viking Raiders coming out again, head scratcher moment of why they're on NXT, but they're there and they're facing Malik Blade and Idris Enofa, and Viking Raiders get the win. Obviously, you kind of knew they were gonna get it. It's the Viking Raiders. They didn't come down to lose. Let's see. Yeah. See, but that's it. I don't. But here's the question, Eddie. Like, I know Solo's gonna get that push, but does he get the title next week? Because it's not the main roster. We're talking about NXT. That's a different playing field. Because I know if it was the main roster, then yeah, for sure he'll be definitely winning, a mid card title at this point. But I'm curious to see what they decide to do next week. I think he more than deserves it because at this point, Carmelo, he's done what he got to do for that title. He can go chase the main one. Cameron can technically be called up if he wants to, which could happen. Matt, yeah, he did. He did. I will say this. The one thing I didn't say about during this match is that what Cameron Grimes was saying about Trick being on his own. I think eventually that's going to happen because we need to see more of Trick. Right now, all we see Trick as is just Carmelo's mouthpiece, like just talking, his hype man. I would love to see what he does on his own. Appreciate that comment. So again, like I said, Viking Raiders get the predictable win. But Malik and Idris, they held their own, they showed out. But Viking Raiders picked up that W. They move on to the Creed brothers because after the match, we get basically a standoff between the two teams, which is they're trying to sell for next week's match. I really hope the Creed brothers do it because they're a solid tag team. They got a lot to offer the division, and I think that would be the right team to win. So we go from there. Then we cut to Wesley on his own. And I feel for him, tag champ, lose the titles, win the titles again, then you pretty much get it taken from you without choice. And he's just trying to figure it out who he's going to be. And, he's basically teasing either he's going to be a heel or he's going to stay or continue to be a face. So when he does come, I would love to see, his entrance music. That's his whole swag of who he is as an individual. Because all we've ever seen him as a tag team specialist. So I'm excited for his singles career run. And, it's going to be a good moment. So you heard Santos say what he said about Tony. Tony D says, all right, cool. We're going to talk about this next week. Obviously, you already know this ain't going to be a talk. We're going to get a moment of where they're wrestling each other or, their squads go against each other while they're running, chasing each other. So, all this is doing is just continuing the feud and just building the storyline. Then from there, like I said, Roxy, also known now as Roxanne Perez versus Mandy Rose. And she was giving it to Mandy, y'all. She really was. And there was a few times I was like, ooh, she got to get that pin. Good back and forth match. Really good showing for Roxanne Perez. And like I'm telling you, the sky is the limit for this girl, man. They really knew how to put her over. They, obviously they were talking about how young she was, her experience. And to me, I'm like, Mandy did not know what hit her. Yeah, she got the win, but it was one of those things where she barely got it. Barely. And, I don't know if what's going to be next, but she does need a new competitor because is it going to be Roxy or Roxanne? I mean, is it going to be Cora? Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Nikita, Lash, like maybe even Natalia for that matter? Because you saw what they did when Dolph came out, and he came down from the main roster to NXT. He became champ for like a quick minute, but tell me what y'all think about this match, man. I'm curious because I thought this was dope. And to close out tonight, though, we get one of the most weirdest characters I'm still trying to figure out in Joe Gacy. He's been speaking about this inclusion and just trying to include everybody, and I understand that. And he's just like saying that Braun's not able to compete, so he should be crowned a champ. Then out of nowhere, Braun's dad comes out, I was like, why? This was not necessary. Yeah, she did. I mean, yes, obviously, but she didn't get the win. That's the disappointing part. She definitely wrestled circles around Mandy. She's the superior wrestler, but still, they decided not to give Mandy the L, which to me would have been dope. But that's the E for you, man. They always do the things we don't want. And going back to this is something I did not want to see. Like I was saying, Joe Gacy comes out, cuts his whole little promo on how, he's gonna be the champ and how everything's gonna be molded into his vision of what NXT will be. And like I said, Braun's dad comes out. I was like, and again, it was very confusing to me. He's just like, nah, actually, Braun's healthy, and he will be fighting you next week. Gacy was just like, either you were smart for doing this or you were stupid. Then next thing you know, Braun's music hits. He comes out, takes out a couple of Gacy's, I don't know what you want to call them, minions is what I'll call them. But then it ends up being a numbers game to the point to where Gacy ends up taking out Braun. His minions end up grabbing Braun's title, and then you just see a semi-line of them moving the title down the line, and you just see Gacy standing in the ring with the title in his hand. Now, I don't know if this is foreshadowing to Gacy actually winning the title, because it could be, or we're probably going to get Braun retaining. But if he does retain, it has to be in a decisive factor, because this whole time I've been thinking, I'm like, yeah, Gacy's getting this run, but where's his muscle, man? Because that's the one that I think really deserves to be in this. And unfortunately, man, that's how that show closed tonight. That's how school ended. We get the final bell with Gacy standing in the ring with the title. And for me, I gotta give it my ratings. Gotta think about this one because NXT is always the high school of the week with all the drama and whatnot. I'll give it two specs for me. Definitely, hit the comments with where you guys feel the show was tonight. But again, like I'm saying, it was an okay show. We saw some newness, and like Wesley's character change. We got a stupid name change for Kaylee Ray, and we're building on some good storylines with Tony and Santos. You got the Creed brothers trying to rebuild their tag status, and that's dope. It's dope. But that's enough for me before I get out of here. If you're interested in joining our Mayhem movement, hit us up on YouTube at SSAW TV, Ringside Mayhem Pod. Hit that share, that comment, like, share. Hit that subscribe button. Follow us on all of our social media platforms on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You know where to find us on Facebook. Ooh, I got another one. Hey, facts, Matt. He did. But I mean, do you think that kick should have gone to Carmelo, or you think it was smart that it went to Grimes? Because to me, I mean, that's a big point. But like I'm saying, once again, y'all see it. Comment, like, share, subscribe, SSAW TV, or even follow us on Ringside Mayhem Pod TV. You get to stay up on all these episodes, stay up on all the news, stay up on all the mayhem. And Facebook, hit us up, Ringside Mayhem Podcast, Twitter, Ringside Mayhem Pod, IG, Ringside Mayhem Pod. And if y'all on our social media, you already know, go find that video, because we got PCW coming up on May 13th, and we got some tickets to give away. You want to hop on that before it's too late. That drawing's happening on May 6th, so y'all got to sign up. Yeah, a lot of people felt that about him, my man. A lot of people felt that about him. But again, they decided to make him champ because that's the storyline they were going with him. They were trying to build on that story, but I'm doing this for my family. All right, you got it. So what's next? Because you got the title. What are you going to do to make it relevant? Because it's not working right now for me. I don't know if you agree, Matt, but that's where I'm at with that. And y'all, I appreciate Matt, Eddie. I appreciate y'all hopping on with me for this quick one. Love the comments, love the interaction. Like how we always say, till next time, tune in for all the mayhem.